So far, we've been looking at applying costs for each item. So, when you're installing a carpet tile, you're focusing on what's it going to cost to install that carpet tile. But there are costs which are just for the entire project. For example, they may be transport, accommodation, anything that is, you've just got to supply it for the entire project. You can put that into ancillary costs, and these have nothing to do with Calidus data at all. These are just added on. So we can come down here and just say put in travel. A quantity string here are not going to be based on anything from Calidus because Calidus has no idea about the ancillary cost. So I can just put in 1 and I'll put in 560, and then I'll put in we're going to have 5 people, say at 200 a night. So we've got an ancillary cost of 1,560. Now, there are 2 ways of using the ancillary cost. If you want those to be as a separate item, you've got this option here. You can either then say, okay, when anything is printed off, like a quotation, these ancillary costs will appear as a separate item. There, so you can see now we've got this ancillary item is 18%. Now, if I look at carpet tile 1, you'll see that the ancillary costs are 0. So there's nothing been applied to this carpet tile in terms of the ancillary, because the ancillary is all on its own as a separate item. If I untick that, what happens is that ancillary item disappears, and the costs associated with those ancillaries are spread across, in this case, the 2 items. So they are spread proportionate to the proportion of cost within the project. So, for example, if carpet tile has 897 applied to it, carpet 1 has 662. And that's because the carpet tile is a much bigger proportion of the job, so it gets a larger proportion of the ancillary costs. So it's a way of incorporating project-wide costs into the items or keeping them separated out. Again, it's one of those things, I think once you've done a couple of real jobs, you'll see the difference, and you'll find out, some companies will want to, some clients aren't interested in your travel costs or anything else. They want everything in as material costs. So it really depends on the kind of quotation that you're putting together. But those are ancillary costs.